Hello members, this is Aman. Hope you are doing well. So today we would be covering a very important topic on intraday for beginners as to why intraday is preferred by many people who and who want to enter the stock market or who have been trading in the stock market for quite some time for past few years. So we would be discussing why intraday is preferred by many, and as a beginner should I do it or not. So what we are trying to do here is we are trying to explain the reasons as to why a person wants to enter into intraday trading, and as to why a beginner either should avoid or should consider intraday trading as a start of his or her career in the stock market. So first part would involve why intraday is preferred by many. So first of all, we need to understand what is intraday trading. Intraday basically means that you open a position during the day and you close it before the end of the day. So for example, if you have taken a trade at 10 a.m. in the morning and you are getting some profit maybe by 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. or 3 p.m. So you would have to exit that position on the very same day. Similarly, on the sell side, if you have taken a sell position at the beginning of the day, so you would have to close that position before the end of the closing hours. Okay, so this is intraday. Intraday basically means within the day. So you can simply define it as a transition that you have to close within the day. You cannot take the position forward. Obviously, you can take it forward, but then there are certain other rules applicable to that. So today we will be discussing only intraday. So coming back to the question, why intraday is preferred by many. So the first point as to why intraday is preferred by many is the same thing, same day closing, no need to hold position. In case of intraday, most of the people prefer intraday trading because they are able to close the positions on the same day itself. They don't feel the need to carry the position to the next day if they are making some profit or making a little loss on the position. So they would either close the position and or book the profits rather than carry the trade to the next day, because carrying the trade to the next day or maybe to the next week or maybe to the next month involves risks which like small players would like to avoid. So same day closing is one of the preferred reasons for intraday trading. The second risk is obviously if you carry a position forward. Let us say if you have taken a trade today and you decide to take it forward, maybe to the next day, to the next week. So there are risks. Anything can happen between these 2 days or between the week or within months. So when you take an intraday trade, you know what is happening will happen within these trading hours only. But if you carry a trade to the next day or maybe for 2 days, for 3 days or a week, so there are certain risks which are involved in carrying the position. Let us say a news comes on the second day of your holding. So there is a possibility that your share may get impacted in a negative way. So what will happen? Your profits would suddenly become losses. So risk associated with carrying forward a position reduces, almost gets eliminated in case of intraday trading. So this is also one of the important reasons as to why people prefer intraday trading rather than taking delivery or holding stocks for like maybe for a week or a month, until and unless they are absolutely in the stock market with the objective of making investment. So this is the second reason. Obviously, everyone in stock market has come with the intention of making quick profits. So in intraday, you are able to make quick profits because you know that what the maximum I can get is 1%, maybe 2%. Some people even operate with 0.5%. What they do, they take large quantity of a particular stock and then they exit with 500, 1000 or 2000 profits as soon as they make it, because you need only 1 rupee movement in your favor to get your quick profits. So you can make quick profits in intraday provided you have sound understanding of the intraday trading. So probability of quick profits is, maybe according to us, is one of the most important reasons as to why intraday trading is preferred by a lot of people. Whatever will happen during the day itself. Either you will make loss or you will earn profits. So probability of quick profits, like if a person wants to make 500, 1000 rupees, it is very quick in intraday, provided you have the right set of mind and the right attitude and risk management. So this is the third reason. Obviously, in intraday trading, you will get some margin from your broker. So if you have 10,000 capital, your broker will allow you to buy shares worth maybe 35,000 rupees, 40,000 rupees. It is generally 4x Some brokers may provide 5x. As per SEBI rules, we believe now it is 4x or 5x. So 40 to 5,000 rupees you will get if you're holding 10,000 rupees in your trading account. So lesser capital requirement. Obviously, if you have to take a stock on delivery, if you have to carry forward the positions, you will need to have deposited the entire amount with the broker before carrying forward the position. If you don't have any delivery shares and you have not pledged with the broker, so that is another issue. But generally for a beginner or even as a trader, people prefer intraday trading because lesser capital is involved. You will be able to buy more shares with lesser capital depending on the margin provided by your broker. So lesser capital requirement is one of the most important reasons for intraday trading. Actually, you would be believing we are saying that every point is very important. Yes, all of these points are important. You can consider yourself as a trader and see. So what would be the reason? Same day closing. I don't want to carry my position to the next day. I'm making quick profits in intraday. So why there is a need to carry forward the position? Also, the risks associated with carry forward of positions are quite high. Same, I'm able to take the trade with lesser capital requirement. I'm able to buy more shares with less capital. So you can see, you can visualize the scenario yourself and consider these points in your day-to-day trading as to why you prefer intraday trading, as to why anyone who does intraday does it. Okay, so the last and the final point is, obviously, if you have made some profits during the day, you would have a better sleep as compared to a delivery position. If you have taken delivery of a stock that was in loss during the day, so what will happen is, like, you will be very very like you will be I'm not able to identify the right word. You will be very, like, you will not be free from any kind of tension. You will be sleeping in tension what will happen the very next day or maybe the second day. So if you have made quick profits during the day, you will sleep with, like, you will sleep in peace and you will not have any tension, and you will be ready to take a trade the other day as well, the coming day. So a lot of people prefer intraday because they don't want to bear that tension of carrying forward the trades and, like, spoiling their sleep, and they just want to do everything during the day. So for them, it is like a job. They open the screen at 9:15 and they shut down the screen at 3:30. Whatever happens during the day is a sort of salary for them. If they make profits, if they make loss, then they switch to the next day. So these are the 5 reasons which we believe that why people prefer intraday as a means of making money in the stock market. So we would repeat again, it is same day closing, lesser risk as associated with carry forward of positions, probability of quick profits, lesser capital requirement, better sleep at night if earned profits during day trading. Okay, so this is basically an overview why intraday is preferred. Now we would be coming as to the most important question: should I do it as a beginner? So this is very, very important, because a lot of people enter the stock market with the hope of making extraordinary profits within a short span of time. So that is not the case. If this would have been possible, everyone would have been a crorepati today. So this is not a joke. Like, I'm entering the intraday, I'm entering the stock market with a capital base of 10,000 rupees and I'm going to make 10,000 every month. That cannot happen. So let us accept the fact. And as a beginner, should I do it or not? These are some of the questions that you should ask from yourself. So first is, do I have any understanding of the stock market functioning? By functioning, we don't mean like buying and selling of shares. By stock market functioning, we mean the entire structure of stock market. As to even the most important things that you should consider are the charges that you would be paying to your broker and SEBI turnover fees and all that stuff. And the second most important thing that you should be knowing about the stock market is the cutoff time. Because if you are entering as an intraday trader, you need to know the cutoff time. By cutoff time, we mean the maximum time allowed by your broker to close your position during the day. So some brokers take it as 3:20 p.m. Some may allow till 3:25. Some may take 3:15. So different brokers have different cutoff times. So you will have to close your position before that particular time. You will have to exit from your position before that particular time. Otherwise, what will happen? Your broker will square off your position. So if the broker squares off the position, it will be done at the market rate. So whatever will be the market rate, your position will be closed at that rate. So for example, let us say you have taken a position at 240 rupees. At the During the day, stock went up to 245 rupees, but you kept on waiting and suddenly the cutoff time came and you forgot to exit the position. And during that time, the stock was trading at 238 rupees. So what will happen? The broker or the risk management system will automatically square off that position at rupees 238. So you need to be very, very cautious about the entire stock market functioning. What are my charges? How much margin will I be getting? How much quantity can I take of a particular stock? What is the cutoff time allowed by my broker? If I'm taking a sell position, what would be the situation if I'm not able to close it? Like something happens like that, if you're taking a sell position and you have not been able to close that position, and there is lower and there is upper circuit in the market. So these are some of the things that you need to understand. What is auctioning of stocks and all that stuff you need to note. That these topics we will cover later on because these are a little complex, but you need to have a basic understanding of the stock market function. This is very, very important. By stock market, people mean buying and selling. That is absolutely not true. You need to understand the charges also, because your profits will get impacted by the amount of charges that your broker is levying on your transactions, both buy and sell side. Okay. So the next and very important step, which we don't want to hear, even as professionals, we don't want to hear, is stop loss. So as a beginner, particularly as an intraday trader, are you ready to take a stop loss? Ask yourself this question. I'm entering the stock market. I know that I'm not going to make profit in each and every transaction. So let us say in your very first transaction, you are making a loss. So will you be able to handle that kind of a loss, or you will convert your position from an intraday trade to a delivery trade? So this is a very important thing that a beginner should understand. Am I ready to take stop loss? Will my conscious or will my ability allow me to take this stop loss for 2 to 3 days in a row? If you have that kind of a mindset, then you can still survive in the stock market. But if stop losses hurt you mentally and like destroys your life in a way that it is impacting your work, it is impacting your other professional life, personal life, so it is better to avoid intraday trading completely. If you can't take the loss, intraday trading should be completely avoided, even in case of delivery. But yes, in case of intraday, it becomes all more important. Am I ready to take the stop loss? Should be your second question that should come to your mind. Third, am I a trader or an investor? This is a very interesting point, because what happens when a position taken during the day gets converted into a loss? So what happens? All of us become investors. Okay, we will carry forward the position to the next day, to the next week, and may carry it for months. Because what happened is, like, we were suffering loss of 200 rupees. So to save 200 rupees, now we are suffering a loss of 2000 rupees, because we carried forward that position, because we didn't analyze the market. We simply took the trade. We simply took a random trade. We didn't want to suffer the loss, so we carried the trade to the next day, or maybe to the next week, or maybe to the next month, or maybe to the years. So you need to understand the second point. Are you ready to take the stop loss? And understand, if a trade doesn't go in my favor, what should be my approach? Should I continue to act as a trader, or should I become an investor? If you are an investor, you should not act like a trader. Okay, if you're an investor, let us say you have taken a position or in a particular stock, and that stock has moved up by 10 rupees, but you are expecting 20% return from that. So you should hold that stock and see if you are able to get 20% return in that stock or not. Maybe it may take 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, but your objective should be clear. If you are a trader, you should be satisfied maybe 1%, 2%, 3% during the day. If you are dealing in stocks, not in futures and options. As a beginner, you should completely avoid futures and options. Even if someone is advising you to do so, you should completely avoid, because even if you make profit in 4 trades, the entire profit will get wiped out in the fifth trade. It is very, very important. You should stay away from futures and options. Please, please, please. It is a request from our side. Stay away from futures and options. Don't get carried off by the lower amount of premium charged on options. They can destroy your capital very easily if you are a beginner. So avoid that. So am I a trader or an investor? Ask yourself this question. Will I carry my positions if I suffer a loss or not, or will I take the loss as per the stop loss decided by me or by a professional who has advised me to do so? Fourth, again, a very important thing which I believe no one follows in the stock market, preferably beginners, is a risk reward ratio. What do we mean by risk reward ratio? We mean for every 1 rupee risk, or for every 0.50 paisa risk, what is the reward that I'm expecting? For example, if I am taking a risk of 1 rupee on a particular trade, so what is my expectation of return from that particular trade? Is it 2 rupees? Is it 3 rupees? It is 4 rupees. So it will be like 1:2, 1:3, 1:4. For every 1 rupee risk, what is the kind of reward you are expecting? You need to have a clear figure, clear ratio in your mind before entering the stock market as a beginner, because this can help you in making a professional in the coming years if you are able to follow a risk reward ratio. Risk reward ratio can be anything, but you need to follow that consistently. This should not be like that for a particular stock you are following a particular risk reward ratio for each and every trade you can decide, but that has to be very, very clear. You will have to take the loss whatever you have decided, and you will have to wait for the reward also, irrespective of the price at which the stock is trading. Obviously, if it is trading at a higher price before the close of trading hours, you will have to exit, but you should wait for the reward that you can get if the trade moves in your favor. That is why it is important to understand whether you should be able to take the stop loss or not, because that will help you in in maintaining patience for the reward that you want to desire from the trade. Okay, again, this is very important thing. A lot of people enter the stock market with maybe capital of 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 15,000, 20,000 rupees, and nowadays we are seeing a lot of people doing options trading because that involves a lesser amount of capital. So options we would say is a completely avoid for a beginner, and it was basically a hedging mechanism which people are using today to earn money. But it was initially devised as a hedging mechanism. What is hedging? We will cover that later on. So is my capital enough to take losses for 3 to 4 days in a row? Let us say you have entered the stock market with a capital of 10,000 rupees and you have maintained a risk reward ratio of 1:1. Okay, and you are buying 100 quantity of any share every day, and you are expecting a profit of 1,000 rupees or a loss of 1,000 rupees on every trade. So what would happen? Let us say you suffer losses for 3 consecutive days, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So what would happen is on the 4th day, your capital will be only 7,000 rupees. There would be some charges also. So you can say around 6,800, 6,900 rupees. So that would be the capital you will be left with. Now on the 4th day, you will not be able to take the quantity you were able to take during the first 3 days because your losses have reduced your capital. Okay, so this is a very important point. This is simple mathematics, but you need to understand each and every loss figure will reduce your capital. And as a beginner, there is possibility that you might suffer losses for maybe 2 to 3 days before you understand the functioning of the stock market, and you actually start to realize that it is not an easy task to make 1,000 rupees in the stock market just by putting capital in a particular stock and booking it every day. So is your capital enough to take losses for 3 to 4 days in a row? Because losses will come. If you are entering the stock market with the hope that no, I'm God and I'm going to make profit in each and every transaction, that is absolutely stupidity, acting like an uneducated person, that I will not be able to understand what is going in the stock market, what will be happening to my capital, and not acting like reasonably. You will not be acting reasonably if you're acting like that, if you're hoping that each and every transaction will give you profits. That is not right approach. You should be able to understand that you will have to take the losses, and they can be continuous. They can be 1, 2, 3, 4. They can continue to occur. Like it can happen that on Monday you suffered loss, on Tuesday also, on Wednesday also, and maybe on Thursday also. But you need to understand that stock market is like a two sides of the coin. So you will have loss on the one side and you will have loss on the other side. So that is why we always suggest a beginner or a beginner who has intermediate knowledge of stock market to maintain a risk reward ratio of 2:1. For every 1 rupee loss, I will earn at least 2 rupees. So in at least in trades you are making profit, you will be making 2 times. Okay, rather than you will making 2 times of the loss. So even if you take 50% as 50% probability of loss and 50% probability of profit, you will still be either be at break even, you will not be like losing anything, or the maximum what will happen is you will be in certain amount of profit, not huge profits, but certain amount of profit. So you need to understand, is my capital enough to take losses for 3 to 4 days in a row? It should not be like that your capital gets wiped off within a week. So you will have to act reasonably, and if it happens that you are incurring losses continuously, then you should stop the trading immediately, maybe after 2 to 3 trades, and start and start and spend some time on learning things, spend some time on understanding why you suffered the losses and what kind of capital is appropriate to survive in the stock market. People are making money even with 5,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, but they have a certain kind of mindset. Okay, they are prepared to take the losses, but they know when they will be making the profits, they will be making the profits at least twice of what the losses that they are making. So this is very important. You should ask this question to yourself: is my capital even enough to survive as a trader in the stock market? You will see a lot of videos on people making lakhs of rupees, 10 lakhs of rupees, crorepati ban gaye hum log. Please, they might be having that kind of capital, they might be having that kind of capital base, and they might be making that kind of money, but don't get excited by these figures. Okay, everyone cannot become a crorepati. If that would have been possible, every professional in India would have been trading today. So don't get excited by huge figures, 10 lakh rupees, 15 lakh rupees, 1 crore rupees, because to earn that kind of money, you need to have that kind of capital as well. And these guys have huge understanding of risk management. They understand the importance of stop losses. They will take the stop losses. They will take the stop loss of 2 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees. But if your capital is only 10,000 rupees, how can you make 2 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees? You will have to grow gradually. So capital is important. Enter with small capital. Take basic understanding of the market, study it. Don't it is like a school. You will have to take a step forward every year, and you don't want to get failed here. So it is better that you spend more time in studies rather than सीधा कूद गए, and then you will suffer losses, and then you will blame the stock market. The stock market is responsible for my losses, which is not correct. It was you who didn't educate yourself before entering the stock market, and now you're blaming someone else for your losses. Okay, this is a very important one. Is my capital enough? By enough, we don't mean that you have to enter with 50,000 rupees. You can enter with 1,000 rupees also, just to understand the market. But don't spend your hard-earned money on taking trades that you don't have any understanding of. You don't know how your losses would mount up and how much losses you might incur, and that would completely destroy your personal and professional life. So please spend some time on your education, some time on studying the stock market. And once you are confident, do paper trading maybe for 15 days, 20 days, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, till the time you're absolutely confident of your strategy. And you know that, yes, though it may result in losses in some trades, but it will also provide me profits that will surpass my losses and will also help me in expanding my capital basis. This is a very important point. Okay, so don't get excited by huge figures, 10 lakh, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs. For that kind of earning, you need to have capital base also. Okay, and for a beginner, we have always been saying you should always avoid options and trading. So that kind of money can be made in options and trading or options and futures also. But we are strictly against futures and options for a beginner. Even for our members as well, we recommend hardly 1 to 2 trades, maybe 4 trades in a month, and that too once we are sure of. Otherwise, we don't recommend futures and options at all. Okay, this is again, so do I have a mentor who can guide me? Obviously, you can enter the stock market either as a layman. By layman, we mean you don't have any educational background in the stock market, you don't have any professional qualifications, you have not studied the stock market, you have just listened to someone, your friend, saying, yeah, stock market mein bahut paisa banta hai, there's a lot of money in the stock market, let us enter the stock market, we will make money, everyone is making money. So what you are doing is you are entering the stock market with the hope of making money without any guidance, without any professional guidance, without someone who can take care of your funds. A reasonable person, obviously, not anyone, a person who knows about the stock market, a person who knows about in and out of the stock market. So you are entering the stock market. अरे यार आजकल तो क्या डीमैट अकाउंट फ्री में खोल रहा है, लेट अस ओपन अ डीमैट अकाउंट, पुट 10,000 रुपीज इन इट, एंड वैसे भी ब्रोकर मुझे 40,000 रुपए का मार्जिन दे देगा, सो लेट अस स्टार्ट डू ट्रेडिंग. क्या होगा, 10,000 रुपए चले जाएंगे. If you are entering with this kind of attitude, you will lose the, first of all, you will lose that 10,000, and thereafter you will lose another 10,000, and this will continue to happen because your mindset is that 10,000 is not important to me. 10,000 is also important to you, but you need to understand that entering the stock market may appear to be very easy, but making profits out of the stock market is not very easy. And entering the stock market just because someone have told you to do so is absolutely incorrect. We would advise you to learn the trades. Learn the trades through paper trading first. Even if you have a mentor, even you have someone to guide you, listen to him or her, take the trades on paper, and try to understand how the stock market is operating. What happens when the stop loss gets hit? What happens when the stock moves in your favor, when the trade moves in your favor? So a mentor will be able to protect you from the mistakes that you might make if you don't have a mentor. By mentor, we don't mean a specialist, we don't mean an expert, but someone who knows in and out of the stock market. At least he would know how to handle you in case you suffer a loss. Okay, he would be able to suggest you that, yeah, don't take any further trades since you're making continuous losses. Stay away from the market for some time. Spend your time in learning. So by mentor, we mean that person. A mentor can be an individual who has been in the stock market for maybe past 5 years, 6 years, who has been doing trades in stock market for past 5 years, 6 years for himself or herself, and who knows the basis of stock market, and he might be able to protect you from unreasonable losses. Okay, because he might be able to stop you from taking trades that don't make any sense. But this mentor has to be a reliable person, not any friend or any family relative or any individual, but a person who knows about the stock market, who knows about the functioning of stock market, who knows how to handle complex situations. Complex situations by meaning, like, if you're stuck in a trade, what you should do, at least he should be able to guide you. Okay, obviously he's not going to take the trade on your behalf. It is you who's going to take the trade, but he or she should be able to guide you. Okay, this is a very important thing. A mentor is like a teacher only. He or she will show you the path. Ultimately, you will have to walk on it, but he will protect you from those faults which you would have, which you have, which you have taken if he or she had not been there. What a teacher does, a teacher guides you. A mentor also guides you. He is not going to take the trade on your behalf. It is you who is going to take the trade. Like, you were the one who sat in the exams, not your teacher sat in the exams. So this is very important that you take a step by step, and then decide for yourself as to whether stock market is good for you or not. Always remember that you should enter in the stock market only with the amount of money or capital that you can afford to lose. Okay, you should not enter the stock market with the money that is supposed to be meant for your family, that is supposed to be meant for your well-being, that is supposed to be meant for your health, that is supposed to be meant for your insurance, that is supposed to be meant for your day-to-day meeting day-to-day expenses. It is very, very important. Please don't get misguided by lakhs of rupees. They can seriously hamper your life. Okay, your continuous focus will be on making money. Make small money, learn, and then you can also see lakh of rupees, but not immediately. Okay, and obviously with options and trading, options and futures trading has to be completely avoided. So please make sure that you don't do options and futures as a beginner. Even we don't suggest intraday trades, even for professionals, even for our members. But yes, sometimes if we see something, we do suggest, but otherwise intraday is a complete avoid from our side, even for a beginner as well as a professional. But if you are insistent that no, I want to be an intraday trader, so these are some of the questions that you should ask yourself. You can take it like as an SOP, standard operating procedure, as to when you will be entering the stock market. You can ask these questions yourself, and you can try to find a solution to these as well. And once you have at least 70% of these in your favor, you can start doing some kind of trading, but obviously on paper trade initially. And now once you have gained the confidence, then you can move ahead. Again, so what is the biggest problem of retail traders? अरे यार, ये स्टॉक बहुत बढ़िया जा रहा है, इसमें पैसा डाल देते हैं. अरे यार, मेरे भाई ने भी डाला है, मैं भी डाल देता हूँ. ठीक है, अरे मेरे दोस्त का कल फोन आया था, ये स्टॉक ऊपर जाने वाला है. सो व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इज वी आर relying on rumors, we are relying on unverified information, we are relying on something which is known to us but has not been verified by someone professional, maybe someone who has been handling the stock market for past few years. So what is happening is you are taking a particular trade on the basis of a news or advice of your friends or relatives. If they have verified the information, if they have done some analysis, research, and shown you proof of that yes, yeah, we have done this, now you can invest, then it is okay. But if it is unverified information, it is a trade that has been advised only on the basis of limited knowledge of your friends or relatives, or because they have heard from someone, so it is a it would be a devastating trade. Your capital would get blocked. Okay, and you are bound to suffer loss because you are an intraday trader, so you might suffer loss as well. So you will have to understand that even though I have entered the stock market as a beginner, should I continue to take the trades on the basis of news or advice of someone, even though known to me, but who hasn't verified the information or the logic behind that information on the basis of which he or she has advised you to take the trade. So this is very important. It should be, am I taking, it should be like, will I be taking trades on the basis of news or advice of friends or relatives? So you can replace am with, will I be taking trades on the basis of news or advice of friends or relatives? If the answer to these questions, if you are able to find answers to these questions and the answers are reasonable, okay, you can list down the answers on the sheet and you can memorize them. And if you are able to find answers to these questions and these answers appear reasonable to you, you can take a step forward. But ultimately, if you will be violating the answers to these questions, or if you will not be following the answers that you have written on the paper, okay, so then you will be destroying your career both as an intraday trader and probably investor as well, which you might have become after maybe 5 to 6 months. So these 7 things, and the most important is the sharp intraday fluctuations. During intraday, you will see huge fluctuations in prices, maybe 6 to 7 rupees, like in seconds, in minutes, or maybe within 15 minutes. So a lot of people find these fluctuations very like reliable. They find these fluctuations not very comfortable. So what will happen is they will enter a trade, suddenly the stock will go down by 6 rupees and suddenly they will like start panicking. So either they would book the loss or not wait for the stock to move up, because they have taken the trade either on their own instinct or on the basis of some advice or news. So what will happen is, if the trade moves in your favor, you will feel very good. But if the trade goes against, you start panicking, because you know that I have to close the trade during the day itself. I cannot take the trade forward to the next day. So it is very important that as a beginner, you should sit in front of the computer for a week or so and see the fluctuations in prices. If you are able to handle the red and green, then it is okay, because these fluctuations will hamper your trading style. Once you actually start investing the amount, you will not be able to control your emotions. When you do paper trading, there is no risk involved because actual money is not involved. So there will be no emotions. अरे यार ठीक है, नीचे चला गया, कोई बात नहीं, I'm doing paper trade, I will book the loss. But when you will be trading with actual capital, so when the stock moves down, your heart will start beating faster. So this is an important thing that you need to understand, that you will have to experience sharp intraday fluctuations. तो यहाँ पर भी can I की जगह होना चाहिए था will I be able to handle sharp intraday fluctuations. So this is basically we are like modifying our presentation slide also for making you more comfortable. So it will be, will I be taking trades on the basis of news or advice of friends and relatives? Because we are assuming that you have not entered the stock market. Okay, so this is something for everyone who is operating in the stock market as a beginner and who would be entering the stock market. So the English would go both the ways. We are modifying that as well. So will I be taking trades on the basis of news or advice of friends or relatives? Will I be able to handle sharp intraday fluctuations? Any new beginner, no matter, even though he or she has a mentor, he or she is taking a professional advice, he or she is taking a consultancy service, should sit in front of the computer at least for a week or so and see the fluctuations in prices. That gives a lot more, that will give you a lot more confidence to handle the fluctuation. Maybe 15 days you can sit in front of the computer and see red and green for half an hour and see how the prices are moving, and that will give you more confidence to handle the fluctuations. Though even though profit is not guaranteed, but you will be able to maintain more patience as compared to a beginner who has no experience of all these things. These are very important things. Okay, so if you are able to find answers to these questions and these answers appear reasonable to you, you can get them verified by someone else also, appear reasonable to you, you can enter as a beginner. But we would again advise you should not enter intraday trading as a beginner. By beginner we mean absolutely who has no experience of stock market, even though he might have some experience of stock market, but who was limited capital, who don't want to risk his capital, who wants to make quick profits in a very short span of time. In stock markets, profits won't come very easily. Please remember that. Even in case of a job, salary comes at the end of the month. So it takes a month, even in your first job, to get your salary. And some organizations pay on the 7th of next month. So you can see for 37 days, you have to work for your first salary to get. And here you want to earn profits on the very first day. So if it makes sense to you, then God is your friend. We don't know, because अगर आप स्टॉक मार्केट में पहले दिन से प्रॉफिट बनाना चाहते हो तो प्लीज अवॉइड स्टॉक मार्केट. इट विल टेक सम टाइम, इट माइट टेक huge time if you are not willing to invest time in the stock market. And please maintain your mental stability when you suffer loss of 2 rupees 3 rupees during the day, because it can impact your personal and professional life also. So think like a professional, but act like a beginner, because thinking like a professional will help you in improving your approach towards the stock market. And as a beginner, acting like a beginner would help you in preventing you from taking unnecessary risks. Okay, these two things, if you can keep in your mind, you can become a successful, we don't say trader, we always believe in investor, but trader, provided you have a strong risk management at your hand. You know what is hedging, you know what would happen if my trade doesn't go in my favor, will I be able to handle it properly, will I be able to take the stop loss, and all these things you need to understand. Please use this video as a guideline, it is not a standard guideline, but you can ask these questions yourself. Okay, why intraday is preferred by many, we have explained the reasons for them as well, and why you should enter as a beginner or not, we have defined as questions that you should ask yourself before doing so. We hope that this presentation would act as a standard operating procedure for you in future, and you would really like this presentation. A lot of effort has gone into preparing this presentation, and we are recording it live, so some mistakes will also be there from my end in speaking, because I'm speaking continuously for past 30 maybe 25-30 minutes, I don't know the exact time. So please, I'm sorry for that, you can take it as an exception. And thanks a lot. This is Aman signing off. Bye bye, take care.